Hello everyone. Come 22nd, we are going to be witnessing the full moon. Now, if we keep doing what we are doing, we are going to keep getting what we are getting. These words by Stephen Covey has had a very profound impact on my psyche, and I look forward to making small little changes whenever the new moon or the full moon prompts me. The cosmos is a vast living body of which we are still parts. We are the still parts. The sun is a great heart whose tremors run through our smallest veins. The moon is a great nerve center from which we quiver forever. The luminary, especially the moon, has a vital power rippling quizzically through us all the time. Now, moon cycles mean change, and change means growth. We can recognize patterns because the life moves in cycles. Cycles are based on change, and yet at the same time, they can work to create continuity. Today, actually, I'm doing the full moon along with my video of the Uranus, because Uranus is definitely going to bring a lot many changes, and you are required to adapt to those changes and grab the opportunities. And the following full moon is urging it more on. So cycles in time helps create a certainty and a stable basis. Harnessed in the right way, they can help our growth and make us strong. So the trick is in knowing which cycles are valuable and worth repeating and which are ineffective and worth changing. Now, change in itself almost always evokes a sense of fear, anxiety, or dread. Even the most adventurous and restless characters will find it unsettling as well as exhilarating. Our attitude towards change usually determines how effectively we can manage it. Can we muster up the courage to embrace it and use it, grow from it, become wise as a result of it? Or do we shy away? We shy away from it and think that it is safer to dig in our heels and stick with what we know. At some point in our growth, we usually recognize that the known can be a trap or a rut, at which point it becomes even more limiting than the unknown. So, in order to make the best of ourselves, we should face up to the unknown. No matter what our attitude towards change is, it is always reassuring to have a map. And these planets are like a map. They are always implying, they never compel. You need to take your decisions and walk on what they're implying or what the map is showing. So even if a journey into the unknown is scary or difficult, a map gives us a sense of direction. So knowing what the full moon is indicating works like a map which can provide us and help us to recognize the cycles in our own life. And once you recognize your own life cycles, you can anticipate change and opportunity and be ready to move with the momentum of time. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself or herself, observed Tolstoy. Now, the full moons give us that opportunity to change what doesn't work for us and accept ourselves, in fact, love ourselves for what we are and how we are refining and defining ourselves by the time. So learn to do the right thing at the right time. This month's full moon takes place in Aquarius, as did the last. Now, the reason is that there are 30 degrees in each sign. The last full moon in Aquarius took place in the very early degrees of Aquarius at 1 degree, whereas this month's take place at the very end of the sign, that is 29 degrees. Now, there are various definitions of a blue moon, and none of them are astrological. Rather, they are astronomical. In this case, the full moon is blue because it's the third full moon in the season with 4 full moons. Now, Aquarius is a most favorable sign for the moon to be in, for here the moon's influence confers admirable qualities of sensitivity and perception. Aquarius is the astrological sign of rational thinking and humanitarianism. In this sign, the moon's effect is to bestow clear logic with altruistic concerns. The moon in Aquarius helps you think rationally, your intuitions become sharper and imaginative, your senses are well balanced and accurate. Your immediate reaction to impressions you receive from the outside world is to deal with them in a scientific, open minded way, and at the same time, try to understand them from the human point of view or from the other person's point of view. There are no extremes of temperament in this lunar position. You are neither too emotional nor too cerebral. You become visionary but not eccentric. If there's something you're trying to achieve, or more specifically trying to release, try again now. Do you have resistance to something in your life? And is it blocking you from achieving your goals? Well, this full moon gives you more or less a second chance to let it go and do something, do some forgiveness work. There's nearly always someone to forgive, whether it's yourself or someone else. So reread the formula for forgiveness, which I have been telling you, and release your karma. Also consider the symbolism of the Leo Aquarius axis, which this full moon straddles. The Leo energy is very, very showy, pompous, aggressive, and bold, while the Aquarius energy is very detached and cool, yet it keeps going on with the flow. So, somewhere in all our lives, we really need to find a balance between these energies. Now, understand what this lumination or what this lunation of the moon means for you. So, to discover where the energy of this full moon is for you, find your star sign or rising sign in your natal chart, see which house is involved, and then understand the full moon through the house it is positioned in. So, those of you who haven't got their natal charts made, it's time that you make your natal charts now, because that actually is a map of your life that will illuminate your path, and you will be able to do exactly what the stars are implying you to do and achieve the satisfaction and the peace that we all look in life. After the full moon, the first alignment after this full moon is a harmonious one between Venus, which is the planet of love and abundance, and Saturn, the planet of longevity. So, see, once that satisfaction and happiness comes in life, the structure of your life becomes much more stronger, and hence the Saturn also gives you the longevity. So, make a list of any new commitments to do with love or abundance and how you feel you can achieve them. So, it's important and imperative for you to understand what you want to do, how you are going to do it, and most important of all, why do you want to do it? So consider what you need to release from your life to make way for all this to happen. Write your objectives down and then burn it after the full moon is over. That means after 2 days of the full moon, the things that you have written down and you have drilled into your mind, then burn that paper away, because it is like throwing your energies to the universe for them to bring it back to you. And that's actually a full moon ceremony. So 2 days before the full moon, you write down everything what you want. On the full moon, you actually ponder over it, you meditate over it, and after 2 days of the full moon, you burn that paper away, and because you are actually throwing and having faith in the universe for sending it in completion back to you. So, with 2 full moons in the same sign for 2 consecutive months, it's as if the universe knows you're having problems, divesting yourself of something troubling you. So, what is it? The house that the full moon is positioned, that means where in your natal chart, which house is represented by Aquarius, that can give you the information or some insight of which part of your life needs the course correction. So, whatever it is, feel who or what in this situation needs forgiving, and then just forgive and move on. So, the questions that you need to ask during this full moon is, how can I detach myself from my biggest fear or worry? And trust me, you'll get the answers from within. What am I refusing to relinquish, or what am I refusing to give up? Why am I attaching too much of importance to it? Remember what Uranus is telling you. Uranus in Taurus, it's gone retrograde, and it is telling you that it is time to release, it is time to adapt to the changes. Now, where am I being too proud of? Which part of my life is my ego stopping me to move forward? So, if you answer these questions to yourself, trust me, during this full moon, you will receive the answers from within. And whenever those you receive those answers, you could either write them down or just feel it. Because the moment you start feeling those answers, you know you're on the correct path, and life will become very easier for you. In fact, the changes that come your way are the changes of opportunity. So stay blessed and do the ceremony on the full moon, just the way I'm also going to do. God bless.